Why are you injecting them? Ah, they may pass it to grandma. All right, and keep them away from grandma. Hey, but if grandma's inoculated, she's safe. Oh, the front for Trump, press secretary. Trump, what press secretary? It's a front. She said Sunday she contracted COVID-19 and is experiencing mild symptoms. She said she was last in contact with President Joe Biden on Tuesday, where she met him in the White House, where they're more than 6 feet apart wearing masks. 6 feet apart, you're making it crap up. And she was inoculated. Yeah, hey, dentist, DDS. No, don't be dumb, SH, DDS. Remember it came out and it had according to Pfizer, 96% efficacy rate. And then the Israeli Health Ministry, 39%. And now you need 2 booster shots. And now you need one every year. These are the imbeciles that believe the crap. This went to ex-subscribers. See why he's an ex-subscriber? Because the truth is too hard. Another one. There's a couple of them we got like this. I wrote back, this is astonishingly stupid. And if you can't educate yourself on public health and history and safety of vaccines, well, that's what he wrote. And I wrote back, it's astonishingly stupid of you to compare gene therapy technology to the first ever injected into the human body with a smallpox vaccination. And this is from Dr. Robert Malone, recognized for his role in inventing the mRNA vaccine technology. He said that the idea that if you have a workplace where everybody's vaccinated, you're not going to have virus spread is totally false, a total lie. Yeah. And that's what they're selling us. Total lies. Freedom, gone. Gone. And that Tucker Carlson piece, that's really important. And, he goes on about the wars that they lied us into. They did a movie, it's only 15 minutes, because the woman that was playing my Aunt Zizzy in one of my books was called What Zizzy Gave Honey Boy. Zizzy is the Neapolitan dialect for auntie, and she used to call me Honey Boy. And in that book, it tells a story of how I got blackballed from all the media. I used to be on Oprah, the Today Show, Good Morning America. I used to be on with Tucker Carlson. Yep, here it is. Let's play that clip. Let's put the music onto it, the sound onto it. Play it again.
All of this was brought upon us in a single day. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
We're gonna lose in Afghanistan.
Tell the network guys I said that.
I'm not anti-American. I love my country.
The only thing that matters at the end is how you lived your life.
So when Tucker Carlson's playing a thing about Bush, and there's my book, What Zizzy Gave Honey Boy, I got blackballed from everybody. I also called out the Iraq War. I had very tough times from 2001 to 2007. I got back big when I called the Panic of '08 and took out the domain name. You couldn't come out. Great, they're coming out with this trailer, but Fox wouldn't let anybody come out against the war. No. Tucker Carlson, I remember him when he was on with MSNBC. I used to be on with him. You couldn't come out against the war. Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting did a whole thing on the Iraq War about how few people were allowed to come on and speak about the lies they were selling us. One after another. That guy who just died after getting the COVID shot, Colin Powell. He had a crapper colon that he held up and lied to the. Yeah, this is proof that Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al Qaeda. And again, Afghanistan, no, we're going to lose this war. I said if Alexander the Great couldn't pull it off, if the British, at the height of the British Empire, into the Valley of Death rode the 600, if they couldn't pull it off, if the Russians couldn't pull it off, what makes you think America will win this war? America hasn't won a war since World War II. And if you ask the Russians, they say we helped them, they helped us do it. But of course, if I say that, then I'm considered anti-American. Because only 30 million Russians were killed by the Germans. That's right. They were in Berlin before, they were in Germany before the Americans. We made a deal with them, with Eisenhower. Let's go in together. So how are they going to win the Afghan war? They're not going to win. I'm anti-American. You're either with us or with the terrorists. So this has been going on. When 9/11 happened, that was the beginning of the end of our freedom. The beginning of the end of our freedom, and it's gotten much worse. I remember when flying on an airplane used to be fun. Anyway, Eisenhower warned us that the military-industrial complex was robbing the nation of the geniuses of scientists, sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. And it has. By the way, I know a police detective. He was a sergeant at the time, or a detective, I'm not sure. And he was down at Building 7. And they went there as everything was collapsing. And they went into it and inspected Building 7, and it was in fine shape. And all of a sudden, it came down. The JFK. They just announced last week, we're not allowed to, Biden, we're not allowed to see the reports of how they assassinated JFK. Trump wouldn't allow him out either. This is America? Yeah. This is from the Wall Street Journal. 4 U.S. intelligence agencies produced extensive reports on Afghanistan, but all failed to predict Kabul's rapid collapse. All right? These are the imbeciles, the arrogant boys and girls that are telling us what to do. They robbed us of our rights. Oh, the terrorists are going to strike again. The terrorists are going to strike again. Oh, remember after the election in 2020? They said that there'd be civil unrest everywhere. Didn't happen. We have psychopaths and sociopaths running and ruining our lives. It's one here, New York Times. China testing new weapons jolts Pentagon. Jolts Pentagon? You mean jolts a bunch of jerk-offs? This is China. You couldn't beat the Afghans. Well, they got 81,000 troops. You're going to beat China, and Trump and Biden says we're going to defend Taiwan. Don't you realize what's going on here? We have to have a new way. If we don't, we're finished. The 20th century was the American century. The 21st century, unfortunately, is going to be the Chinese century. The business of China is business. Belt and Road Initiative. Hey, they just brought up that port over there, one of the biggest ones in the world, fourth biggest one in Greece, fourth biggest one in the world. And what's America doing? All those Democrats? Oh, yeah, you passed a defense budget, the biggest one ever. As you just pulled out of Afghanistan and losing war. Now, this thing's going down big. And again, all of the major media supported these wars. All of them. All of them. You were blackballed. Oh, I can't say blackballed. I may be racist for saying that. You were transgender balled. Yeah, because that's what's going on, man. because they're taking everybody down and everybody off. If they don't like what you say, hey, that group that just bought up Politico? Oh, yeah, Politico? That's right. A German group bought up Business Insider. And you know what they said? You cannot say anything negative about Israel. As a matter of fact, you have to be pro-Israel. I'm pro-American. I'm not pro-Italian. I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not pro-anybody. Ireland, and I love the Irish girls. That's how bad it's gotten. Pro-Israel, pro-Biden administration mandates that are going to be more of them coming out tomorrow and what they're going to be doing. You know, we do a special podcast every Wednesday on Gerald Celente on YouTube with Judge Napolitano. And he was talking about the illegality, the constitutional illegality of this executive order by Biden. And what's being put out of the news basically is the deadliness and the ill effects from these vaccines. They barely talk about them. This is from the Financial Times. Scientists link COVID jabs to rare side effects. All right? Today, Americans who receive the one-dose Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine with 3.5 times as likely to develop rare blood clots compared to the general population. This is that UK newspaper, the Daily, I forget what this was called. Recipients of the J&J COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. Researchers found 8.5 J&J recipients developed the clots fit compared to 2.5 of the general population. And again, we have now started it this year, the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice. It's on the cover of this week's Trends Journal. And what we're doing is people that join the church could get a religious vaccine exemption. There it is. That's on the most historic four corners in America. The only place with pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings. And that's one of the gardens of the building, which is, that's a brick building from behind it. That's from 1826. But there are 1,750. That's the Franz Roggenhaus Garden. And I own three of the most historic. So I'm putting my money where my heart is and my action where my mouth is and doing everything we can. So going back to the federal contractors are getting a broader flexibility to enforce the COVID-19 vaccines. That's according to the latest report that came out. So this religious exemption is like none other out there. It's not only for all the religious reasons, but also we had a number one lawyer put in the constitutionality of our First Amendment rights, which prohibits governments or anyone to take away our First Amendment rights, which is the right of religious freedom. So that's what you also get in this. So when you join the church, it's at freedompeacejustice.com. freedompeacejustice.com. Because this thing is going to go down big. This is a letter, a couple of letters, I got emails from people. This is astonishingly stupid for us offering the vaccine. And if you care to educate yourself on public health and history and safety of vaccines, I'd be happy to help you. So you could put out quality information instead of potentially killing people in the name of freedom. Could you imagine this arrogant little boy talking to me like this? Oh, when he puts down I'm not going to give his name. He puts down DDS. You're a dentist. Take it easy, man. Yeah, shove those braces up your you-know-what, because I'll keep going on with the letter. Which this vaccine mandates for certain activities and professions have been around since George Washington mandated smallpox vaccines for soldiers and thus saving countless lives. Hey, DDS, or is it dumb as SHI? Yeah, that's what it is. Dumb SHI, you know what? Michael, this is not that kind of vaccine. It's a gene therapy mRNA inoculation, the first ever injected into human beings. You want to take it? Take it. Don't tell me what to do. And maybe you're too damn stupid because you're an arrogant DDS to look at the facts of who's dying from it. Only 78% of the people that have been hospitalized, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, are either obese or overweight. Only 94% of the people have 2.6 pre-existing comorbidities. And injecting them into the children's, the recovery rate from people 1 to 19 years old is only 99.997%, according to the CDC. Yeah.
And so, believe it or not, I think you all get it. And it literally, I guess you all, I know you all know it. I'm sorry to go on so long. Thank you.